an average C-class apartment is 25 million. An average equivalent like mobile home park in this, tertiary market or second or third market is going to be 8 or 10 million. And so the values are like significantly reduced comparatively on a price per unit basis. And so it doesn't hit some of the buy box of these ultra high net worth people, but it creates not a lot of opportunity. I think the opportunity really is for the average accredited investor or the average person between 10 and $30 million that will actually wants to go on 1 or 2 deals.
I feel like mobile home parks is as close to like a Bitcoin. If you look at that, it's a commodity. It's a diminishing supply, right? And they're not creating new mobile home parks, right? So talk about that dynamic and how somebody, if they're worth a lot of money, want a place to preserve the wealth and create consistent cash flow, why it's better than any other product type.
Well, there's 2 questions, 2 points to that. So yeah, Warren got in the space early 2000s. He builds, there's about 100,000 homes built a year for Clayton Homes, builds about 50 or delivers about 50,000 homes a year. He also, which is the biggest manufacturer of new homes, he also has 21st, his mortgage line. So he's actually also financing the mortgage side, and then he also is the biggest home builder. Obviously, he likes to vertically integrate everything and just control the, so from supply lines to everything. The biggest issue, and like if you're talking, we met at the Family Office Club. The biggest thing is a lot of the family office are like adamant about, just basically apartment buildings. They have 72% are in apartment buildings, but there's very few allocated towards mobile home parks because the biggest issue is a lot of them have certain stipulations on the raise. So, for example, like some of these big high net worth families, and so you're talking about billionaires and some high net worth people, they usually have like a certain stipulation. So like, and we mentioned Kevin is one of your friends, and I remember that from the conference. Most mobile home park funds are 10, 20 million, 25, maybe 30 max. I think 25 is the biggest raise. And so some of these allocate like these funds, like family offices and some really high net worth people, they will only invest in funds that are 50, 100 million plus minimum, and or it has these different buy boxes. And so the biggest issue has been happening for the last few years, unless they're doing it through like Apollo Group and some of the other big operators, is we don't hit the criteria. But at the same time, you don't want to, as a fund manager, to do $100 million mobile home park raise because you're just going to be buying garbage, and that's why nobody's ever done it. That's actually in the space, because you'd literally be just buying deals to buy deals, and then you'd have to like infill. It's scarce in demand resources. We have like a limited supply, which you alluded to, and so an average, for context, an average C-class apartment is 25 million. An average equivalent like mobile home park in this, tertiary market or second or third market is going to be 8 or 10 million. And so the values are like significantly reduced comparatively on a price per unit basis. And so it doesn't hit some of the buy box of these ultra high net worth people, but it creates not a lot of opportunity. I think the opportunity really is for the average accredited investor or the average person between 10 and $30 million that actually wants to go on 1 or 2 deals. I think that's the opportunity. A lot of family offices and people are familiar with $50, $100 million minimum net worth, or they have one person managing their assets. They have very strict criteria. And so they haven't really gotten the space, even though they're in the apartment building. So it creates an opportunity for, if you're an average accredited investor, you're a person making $500,000 a year, a couple $1 million a year. Mobile parks are just a good way to have a stable real estate. Historically has been one of the safest, if not the safest real estate historically. Green Sheet data, all that backs up for the last 8 years, been the top performer between that. And
Got it. That's awesome, Jonathan. That makes sense. So, yeah. And so it sounds like Warren is more so building, right? Building or expanding, right, which is different than buying existing. And what you're saying is, if for those that are trying to go big on this, they raise all the capital, raise $100 million. There's just not enough deals that actually make sense, right? That you can transact and buy without having to overpay and overspend.